The Art Beat, a weekly program putting you in touch with artists and arts events from the J.T. and Margaret Talkington College of Visual and Performing Arts at Texas Tech University. Hi, and welcome to the Art Beat. I'm your host, Peter Martins, and I am here this week speaking with a couple folks that are not directly connected with the Talkington College of Visual and Performing Arts, which I think is a first for this program. We get to stretch our legs a little bit in the summer here, and I have the pleasure of talking today with two folks that are working with the Stroke and Aphasia Recovery Summer Arts Program. STAR is the program for short, and this is something special that's happened the last several summers. I'm here today with the director of the STAR program, Dr. Melinda Corwin, who's over in Speech and Language Pathology in the School of Health Professions in the Health Sciences Center, and then also Brenna Price, who is the music director of this summer program. So hi to you both.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
Sure, great to see you. We've been now doing this for several summers on campus here, coming together in the first part of June to bring these folks in here and do some special, augmented arts activities with folks. So maybe, Melinda, you can start by telling us, what is the STAR program throughout the whole year? This is kind of a special event in that year, but what do these folks who are recovering from stroke and other forms of aphasia, what are they doing? What are you working on throughout the regular year?
So the STAR program tries to encourage life participation for people after a stroke or a traumatic brain injury. And they have a communication disorder or condition called aphasia, which makes it hard for them to access language or access words. But they still have their intellect. It's not a form of dementia, so they can think like they always have. They just can't always speak or understand words in the way that they did before. So we want to encourage them to participate in the community, get back into life, and live successfully with aphasia. And our program runs for 10 months out of the year, but we're really excited about this summer program when we partner with TCVPA.
Great. And this is the, time of the program each year where the arts are a particular focus. Clearly that's been decided, you've run this for many, many years, even before it came to campus. You've decided to bring the arts into contact with these situations and these recovery efforts. Why? What was your initial kind of motivation to go that direction?
Well, research has shown that the arts are a very important part for neurological recovery and success. And Brenna actually was a graduate student at the time, and she had read some articles about aphasia choirs across the country. And she came to me and said, let's start an aphasia choir. That was in 2012, and so we did. Okay,
wow. So, Brenna, you have a musical background as well, I understand, obviously, and you were just kind of at the forefront at the time of putting these two sides together.
Yeah, so I have my undergrad degree in music therapy, and I decided I wanted to go into speech, so I went to grad school and just started learning how you can integrate music into therapy, and we talked to Melinda about it, and we decided to come up with a plan to start a aphasia choir.
Great. So it ran for several years, and then a few years ago we decided, gosh, this is a collaboration that really would be mutually beneficial between the Health Sciences Center and the university side, particularly the College of Visual and Performing Arts. So here we are in our fourth year on campus, I believe. Third year in the Machen Theater facility, which has really been ideal, it seems to me, for all the aspects here. So maybe talk us through the daily schedule. What does the program look like? What do the folks participate in?
So every day we begin with a morning gathering time. We have activities that our occupational therapy students partner with the speech language pathology students, and we may play games, do puzzles, bingo, card games, and gather. And then at 9 a.m. we have a drama class or an improvisation class. This year our teacher is Lee Alvarado. She's doing a fantastic job, and we get to explore the arts in the world of improvisation. We move to a morning snack, mid-morning snack, and then we have a choir rehearsal for about an hour and 15 minutes, followed by art, an hour's worth of art class, and then our camp ends just after noon each day. But it's a full schedule for our members.
We've just started now this year, and there's some fatigue, there's some tiredness at the end of these sessions. Is that part of the scheduling and part of the rehearsal blocks themselves, is to kind of build some stamina, some sustained effort at a certain activity?
That's the hope. We've tried different models. The first summer we tried once a week for 1 hour. And then we decided we could compress that into a 2-week period and really get a lot of good benefit from that, from the daily repetition and the redundancy and the rehearsals. But it is true that it helps build stamina, because after a stroke or a brain injury, the brain needs lots of rest time.
So maybe both of you could talk a little bit about the participants. There probably isn't a typical participant, I've noted, but what sort of folks seem to be helped by this? And I see some familiar faces coming back for multiple years. They obviously like doing this. What are the sorts of folks that really are drawn to this program?
So there's many different types of aphasia. Some have an easier time understanding and a harder time speaking, and for some it's the opposite. And some don't understand much at all and can't speak much at all. One thing about aphasia is I think it's really isolating, and that's a neat thing about this program is they can come and be around other people like themselves and, around the students, and just being around others and getting them out of their homes or wherever they're living, getting them to do something fun, enjoyable. And I think that also can lead to the fatigue too, because a lot of times they're not used to doing a lot of activities and going for hours and hours. So I think it's great for them.
Yeah, one of the main problems after a stroke that causes aphasia is depression, high risk for depression and social isolation. So we really want to combat that through the arts and through social connections, and that's what this program allows us to do.
Yeah, and there's a good bit of research on choirs, not necessarily with aphasia population, just the general population being very helpful for social connection and combating isolation, that sort of thing. So that's really neat. I imagine, Brenna, there may be some specific things you have to keep in mind with choosing pieces for this choir. What are the sorts of things that go into that?
Yes, absolutely. The first year we weren't really sure what to expect, so we picked a lot of songs that we figured they already knew. Patriotic songs, church hymns, things like that. I think we had 1 or 2 new songs we wanted to try, and they did great. They were able to read music. They were able to learn new songs. We taught them dynamics. So we learned after that first year, oh, wow, we can really challenge these folks. So I do try to pick songs that they kind of maybe have heard before. We try to keep the lyrics slower, so not a lot of words in a phrase. Just using simpler language is helpful, so words that they hear more often. We pair images with the music, so each song has like a corresponding photo, and I'll say, turn to this song, and it has a picture, and I can draw the picture on the board. We also write keywords and phrases on the whiteboard, helps them follow along and just comprehend a little better what we're doing.
Okay. Are there specific, arrangements essentially that you have to use?
Yes. So we make our own arrangements, and we do simplify the lyrics. Sometimes we can keep them as they are, but a lot of the times we'll kind of alter the lyrics a little bit to make them easier to say, just a little simpler.
Yeah, I noticed some of the popular music, the words can go by very quickly and the rhythms are tricky.
Yeah. And we've this is our 13th year, so we're running out of songs, but no, it's been great. And they can learn, like we said, they can learn new music, and they do really well with that, especially with the repetition, kind of teaching them early and doing the songs over and over and over. They retain a little better.
So the culmination of this workshop, it's a 2-week workshop next Thursday,
June 12th.
Is a final concert, and that's open to the public. It's in the Machen Theater, as I mentioned before. And details about that?
At 6 p.m. And yes, it's open to the general public. It will be a final performance that will involve a demonstration of the drama improvisation activities we've been doing, followed by our choir concert where we'll perform 5 pieces. And then we'll have an art exhibit and a reception in the atrium. So we're very excited. We would love to see the public at 6 p.m. on Thursday, June 12th in the Machen Theater.
Yeah, it's a lovely space. A little reception afterwards. You can see all of the products that I'm always very impressed by what comes out of this in just a short 8 days, really. So one of the things that I've been struck by being around this workshop for a little while is kind of the small army of folks from the health side, from the occupational therapy side and the speech and language pathology side. And they are, in some sense, getting kind of practicum hours in their programs. Maybe you could talk a bit about that.
That's right. It gives us the opportunity to provide clinical practicum hours for master's level occupational therapy students and speech language pathology students. They're required to get 400 to 500 clock hours of spending time with people with all kinds of communication challenges or motoric challenges. But this is the first opportunity for many of our students to work with adults who have any kind of neurological issue. So they come very eager and willing to learn and work hard. And it's a mutually beneficial experience, we hope, for the members who have aphasia and the students who will be their future healthcare professionals.
Right. And I believe that is there some possibility for data gathering and observation as this is going on?
Part of what students do is learn how to make observations and document change over time. If we wanted to go back and examine that retrospectively, we could request through the Institutional Review Board to do formal research and go back and look at some of the observations and see if we note change over time.
Interesting. And I'll say on the arts side, we're very happy this year for the first time to be able to have a student intern, is what we're calling them, working under Brenna in choir and then under Sarah Taylor, the art teacher as well, along with the student who's leading the drama component of it, to give some of our Talkington College of Visual Performing Arts students experience working with these populations as well. And this is where Brenna comes from, right? So what are you seeing in that combination, over your experience over the decade plus of putting these two together?
Oh, it's been very helpful having a helper. Oftentimes I'm conducting, talking, singing into the mic, writing keywords on the board, and she's just been there and been so helpful. She's also helping us learn the music. It's been great.
That's good.
The intern's name is Kara.
Kara Cavazos, yes, is our choir intern, and Marianne Ramazani is doing the art side. And we also have an administrative TA, Clara Biome, who's helping. So to me, it's a nice step forward in the growth of a general arts and health set of activity. We've got some little programs, we have a certificate, that sort of thing. But at a large institution like Texas Tech, I know we've talked about this before, that we have built these really neat big silos, but one of the challenges is it's hard to get from one silo to the next. So yeah, this is one of the programs I think that helps break those boundaries down.
That's great. That's very interesting. I enjoy having her. She's very helpful, and it's neat to educate people that aren't in our field about aphasia. A lot of people haven't heard of it. Just teaching her what it is and just getting exposure to what it is too. It's been great.
It's a great way to see the Arts and Health Initiative in action, true action, and a true partnership between the two campuses and all of the programs. And we love that everyone mutually benefits from it.
Yeah, and as Brenna was saying, this is definitely not part of standard art or theater or music training, right? And I think involving some arts activities in these recovery things is probably not standard training in occupational therapy or speech and language pathology. Maybe it's getting there. Maybe that's the future.
Right. Neuroarts, there's a whole set of literature, and I think it's coming, but it's certainly not in place at a typical rehabilitation center or hospital at this point. Would you agree, Brenna?
Yes, absolutely. There's lots of places we can use it too, even with treatment of dementia and stuttering, all types of areas we could incorporate music.
And I've been told by folks coming from the outside to visit Lubbock that we have such an enviable natural setup of the university, the Health Sciences Center, Covenant, UMC, all right in the same, essentially square 2 miles, I guess. We can maybe become leaders in this area if we keep plugging away, right?
Right. And you have a beautiful facility here, and we're grateful for you sharing the theater, because we started out in a church, which was great, but we just set up folding chairs in the gymnasium for our final concert. And so to have an actual theater with padded seats and a stage and lights, microphones and risers, it's really nice.
Yes, makes it easier. Well, thank you so much. Obviously, this is an area I'm passionate about as well, and it's wonderful to have the opportunity to bring you to this program on KLZK and to the broader Lubbock community and especially the music listening community. This is an area that I hope we are hearing a lot more about in the coming months and years. So, Melinda Corwin and Brenna Price, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
The Art Beat a weekly program putting you in touch with artists and arts events from the J.T. and Margaret Talkington College of Visual and Performing Arts at Texas Tech University.